Following on from the top 10 tips in the Quest catalogue, we're now going to run through it on video. A normal baiting scenario with the majority of anglers is a bed of small hemp seed, small pellets, with larger baits fished amongst them. Carp very often shy away from the larger baits. I find by introducing a couple of 3 bright baits in the baited patch, the fish pay that much attention to those, they're that wary of the bright ones, they'll often hoover a darker bait up. On heavily pressured waters, you really can't do too much to give yourself an edge. Freshly introduced baits often spook the fish. When they come and eat them, the bait's dry. I get around this problem by pre-soaking baits in water. Always use lake water or even the pond water out of my garden. Leave those soaking overnight. Straight away they look like a washed out safe bait. By pre-soaking the boilies the night before in lake water, not only are they physically different by the texture of the bait, they're also visibly different. Here's the same baits introduced the following day. By recasting with a fresh hook bait, isn't it obvious which one's a dangerous one? Following on from the pre-soaking in lake water, you can also soak the baits in particle juice. Once the particles are cooked, pour the excess juice over the boilies, and this has the added attraction of a scent trail coming from the bait. The water from cooked hemp seed is particularly good. Where the baiting distance allows, I like to break some of the boilies open. This not only gives a different shaped bait on the bottom, flutters down softer on weed, but it also allows a much quicker release of attractors. I don't always fish with just conventional baits on the hair. Often break the baits up, make different shapes. This can fool the wariest of carp. Particularly good method during the winter. I like to put the bait on conventionally, then trim the sides off the bait. This gives a good hard skin where the hair enters the bait and where the hair comes through. This allows a lot more leakage of flavour, but also by leaving the ends intact, the bait doesn't come off the hair so easy. And there's the finished apple core bait. It often surprises people when I point out I rarely fish the same hook bait as I'm feeding. I fish different coloured hook baits, and often I even fish a different flavour over the top of another bait. Regardless how much bait you have with you, never be in too much of a rush to put it in the lake. Until you know the fish are definitely going to be in for a good feed, it's pointless putting a load of bait out to start with. Start off with a little bit of bait, you can always add to it. Put too much bait out to start with, you're stuck. Sometimes I want to use a larger bait or even 2 small baits, so rather than tying another rig up, I simply get a hair loop, loop to loop there, and the hair's as long as you want it to be.